Core Committee of the Parliamentary Committee on Naga Political Issue is holding a crucial meet in Kohima. Well, this is the first meeting of the Core Committee after the leaders, including Chief Minister Nephew Rio, returned from the national capital following crucial round of discussions with the NSCN-IM and interlocutor A.K. Mishra. In the meeting, sources said will discuss the Government of India's formula to resolve the flag and constitution issues. Well, the meeting is also crucial as the core committee members led by Chief Minister Nephew Rio will meet NSCN-IM leaders on May 29th. So, big story we are tracking at this point in time, viewers. Well, the core committee of the Parliament is holding a very crucial meet at this point in time. And now I'm being joined with our Editor-in-Chief, Wasbir Hussain, live from the newsroom. So, Wasbir, crucial meet of the core committee on Naga issue. So, is the road map for Naga's solution becoming clear, Wasbir?
Absolutely, Priya. It seems that the roadmap for a solution to the protracted Naga issue is becoming clearer by the day. Now, at this point in time, as we speak, the core committee of the parliamentary committee, the core committee on the Naga Peace Talks are having its very, very crucial meeting at the residence of Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio. The meeting is taking place at the banquet hall in the Chief Minister's residence, attended by almost all the members of the core committee. There is Chief Minister Nephew Rio, there is Deputy Chief Minister Y. Patton, there is T.R. Jeliang, there is Ajo Neno, and there are also the Member of Parliaments and all the other members of the core committee. The member secretary, that is Neba Krono, is also present in that meeting. So all the top leaders are meeting, and sources are telling Notice Live that the meeting is discussing the offer that has been the latest offer that the centre has forwarded to the Naga people. As we all know, the deadlock was over the NSCN-IM's core demand of flag and separate flag and constitution. Now, there was a time in the last fortnight when almost people thought that the central government has absolutely rejected in no uncertain terms these two demands, because that was what two important Naga leaders, that is Y. Patton, the Deputy Chief Minister, and former Chief Minister S.C. Zamir had said, that the government of India, or for that matter the central leaders, was just about not willing to consider that the demand of a flag and constitution. But yesterday, Mr. Ajo Nenu had told our channel, he is the co-chairman of the ruling United Democratic Alliance, he is a member of the core committee. He had told our channel that the centre has come forward with an offer that the flag can be used by the Naga people for cultural purposes, and that the Naga statute or the Yazabo is also going to find reflection in the Indian constitution. This is the offer that the core committee at this point is believed to be discussing. So therefore the core committee engaged at this point in time in a very, very crucial meeting. After which, of course, as we have been reporting for the last 1 hour or so, the Chief Minister will meet the NSCN-IM on 29th of May. That is what sources are telling us. He will be accompanied by Mr. T.R. Jeliang, Mr. Ajo Neno, and few other leaders of the core committee. And of course, we all know by now that we have broken the story that the NSCN-IM has called an emergency National Assembly meeting where all its civil wing leaders, the military wing leaders, and the members of the Tatar Ho-Ho or the NSCN-IM parliament are also going to attend.
Right, Wasbir. So, what is also significant is that the core committee members will meet the NSCN-IM on May 29th. And as K. Nenu told us last night, the core committee is expected to be very straightforward to the IM leaders. And isn't it, Wasbir?
Absolutely. That is what Mr. Nenu had told during the show with me last night, that the core committee is going to tell the NSCN-IM leaders in no uncertain terms that just like the government of India has walked the extra mile to reach a solution, he said that NSCN-IM also need to come forward to accept a solution that is of course honorable and acceptable. That is understood. But the appeal by the various political leaders, including the government leaders as well as the civil society in Nagaland, is for the NSCN-IM to take a call. And because the ball obviously at this point in time lies in the court of the NSCN-IM. I just want to know whether our Nagaland correspondent Sarah Kanyak is
we have us. Sarah with us.
Sarah, if you can hear me, Sarah, what's going on? This is a very, very critical meeting, and we are given to understand that this meeting is discussing the offer that the central government has come up with, the latest draft that the central government has come up with. So I will talk about the timeline, but what are you hearing at this point in time about the meeting that is going on?
Yes, Wasbir, absolutely. The core committee meeting, which is being led by the Chief Minister himself, have begun just a while back. Top leaders like T.R. Ziliang, Deputy CM, and other leaders are also present in the meeting. Yes, what we're hearing from our sources is that the Chief Minister will be briefing the House on what transpired in the crucial meetings that took place in Delhi between the Government of India representative and the Naga negotiating parties. And yes, definitely, sources have informed us that the House will be deliberating and discussing at length on the offer which has been laid by the Government of India to the NSCN-IM, that is for the flag to be used in the cultural programs, and the Yazabo, the Naga constitution, to be incorporated in the Indian constitution. Well, if we recall back, Wasbir, the NSCN-IM have time and again made their stand very clear that they will not accept anything less than the flag and the constitution. And the demand of the NSCN-IM and the offer being made by the Government of India is in little contrast. So the May 31st meeting is going to be very crucial and very significant, as sources are telling us that the NSCN-IM leaders will be taking some key decisions on the 31st of May, which is to be held at Camp Hebron.
Right, Sarah, stand by, don't go away. Let me give the viewers a sense of the timeline. Let me give the viewers a sense of the timeline leading to a possible solution to the protracted Naga issue. As we know, the Naga issue is as old as India's independence, 1947, and it has its history in 1929 when the Simon Commission had visited Nagaland and seeking the opinion as to the views of the Nagaland because India was knocking at the doors of freedom at that point in time. The Nagas had written to the Simon Commission that they want to stay as a free people. So that was the representation in 1929. That was the basis. That was the representation made by the Naga Club at that point in time. So that was the basis. 1947, India became independent and the Nagas continued with their movement. There was an insurrection led by Angami Japu Fizo, considered the father of the Naga insurgency. He went off to London via East Pakistan. That was in 1956, and the insurrection continued. In 1980, the Naga National Council, the NSCN, was formed. In 1988, the NSCN got split, and thereafter there has been several factions have emerged on the scene. In 1997, of course, the ceasefire was declared between the NSCN-IM and the Government of India. That took place after serious confabulations in various international capitals, whether it was Chiang Mai, whether it was even there was discussions in Rome. There were discussions all over the world and different international capitals, and then the ceasefire came into effect in 1997. After that, for the last 25 years, there has been negotiations going on between the Government of India and the NSCN-IM. Of course, in the last couple of years, the new group has been formed, that is the Naga National Political Group. That is an umbrella organization of 7 different Naga insurgent factions. So we have the NSCN-IM on one side and the NNPGs on the other. So there have been parallel talks going on between the Government of India and the NSCN-IM on one side, Government of India and the NNPGs on the other. On the 3rd of August 2015, the NSCN-IM with signatures of Isaac C.C. Chu, who was then alive, he was the chairman, and Twingalang Muiva and others, they signed a framework agreement in presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Ravi, who was the interlocutor then. And of course, thereafter in 2019, the agreed position came into being. That was an agreement that was signed between the Government of India and the NNPGs. Thereafter, the issue they hit a roadblock because the NSCN-IM said that they are not going to sign on the dotted line. They are not going to sign on any Naga Peace Accord without the core demand of a flag and constitution being considered by the Government of India. So that was the deadlock. And thereafter, in the last fortnight, in the last 3 weeks, there has been brisk movement as far as the Naga Peace Talks are concerned. The Nagaland government leaders, as you know, there is an opposition-less government in Nagaland at this juncture. The Nagaland government leaders, they rushed to New Delhi. The NSCN-IM delegation was already there. The NNPG delegation was already there. There were several rounds of discussions between these groups. There were discussions between the Nagaland government leaders with the interlocutor A.K. Mishra, and after that they have returned and they were absolutely silent. In the meantime, 2 prominent Naga political leaders, Deputy Chief Minister Y. Patton and former Chief Minister S.C. Zamir, both belonging to 2 different political spectrums, they said more or less the same thing. They said in statements in Nagaland that the government of India, or for that matter the central leaders, have absolutely said no to the demand for a separate Naga flag and constitution. So there was a feeling that the talks have once again hit a red roadblock. But again yesterday things changed because Ajo Nenu, the co-chairman of the United Democratic Alliance, that's the ruling alliance in Nagaland, and he is also the member of the core committee, said that the government of India has come up with some kind of a formula that the flag will be used for cultural purposes. That means they're ready to concede to some extent on the flag, and they said that even the Naga constitution or the Naga Yazabo will find some reflection in the Indian constitution. So if this can be considered, if this is to be considered as a compromise formula, then that is what the core committee at this point is discussing. Now after the core committee takes a decision, they are going to meet the NSCN-IM leadership. That is going to take place on 29, that's what we are hearing. And after that, the NSCN-IM has already called an emergency National Assembly session where its civilian and military wing leaders, apart from the Tatar Ho parliamentary leaders, are going to attend. So this is the highest body of the NSCN-IM that is going to meet. This is an extremely rare meeting that is going to take place at Camp Hebron. After that, if the NSCN gives the go-ahead to the central's proposal, now the framework agreement and the agreed position of the NSCN-IM, both combined, there will be a draft agreement for a final agreement. There will be a final draft agreement for the Naga Peace Talks or Naga Peace process is concerned. That will be given to the elected representatives and then of course to the public domain. It is only after the Nagas, the ordinary Naga people, have seen the draft agreement is the agreement going to be actually signed by the stakeholders. That is the roadmap that Northeast Life has heard so far. We'll have to wait and watch whether all of this is true or whether this is partially true. But at this point, as we are reporting, a very, very crucial core committee meeting going on in Kohima, and our correspondent Sarah Konyak is standing by right outside the Chief Minister's residence to bring you all the details.